And now we bring you today's Corruption Matrix, taking you inside the world of corruption, abuse of power, and shocking trails of public trust.
The FCC looking to further regulate your online experience. The Obama-appointed commish will meet with his enforcement officials tomorrow morning and decide how much of what you do they should be allowed to see and regulate. Don't worry, leftist dictator thug and Obama sympathizer Hugo Chavez is totally on board. He says government should decide what we can and cannot do on the web. A new report shows tens of millions of Americans are now buying prescription medicines illegally on the internet. But instead of getting a good deal on pills, some online drug sellers are shipping counterfeit and unapproved medications. Be careful on those online scripts. How ironic. Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks, and his lawyers are furious, just furious, that secret documents about Julian Assange have been leaked. The secret documents contain details of the rape charges against Assange. His lawyers say the leaked papers damage his defense. Oh well, when you play with fire, you get burned. And that's your Corruption Matrix for Monday.
So let's keep this going. Julian Assange busting a gut because the dirty details of his sexual allegations are out there for the world to see. Could be embarrassing, damning, and might cause others harm. This guy's harmed the U.S. He needs to be nabbed for conspiracy, espionage, or how about this, being an information trafficker to terrorists who just want to kill us. Lock him up and throw away the key. Let's welcome back our panel. Go ahead, Bo. You want to?
Well, I don't think
he's mad. He's mad that
no. I don't think. I don't think.
Leaked.
Very possible that his people have leaked this. Because if you notice inside the leakitation there, it talks about him having relationship with this woman and then staying with her 5 days later. It's explaining the whole thing. If she was raped the way she said she was raped, why did he stay and she let him stay for 5 days?
Well, let me just say this.
To me,
listen. I got to tell you, Assange bothers me as any good American would understand that position because he put it at risk. But I got to tell you something. If, in fact, that's what's happening, Bo, if, in fact, they're trying to embarrass him because of these sexual allegations of what he did or didn't do, I got to tell you something. I say go after him on the merits of the case. Don't try to destroy his reputation having things to do with anything else. Yes, there's an irony here, and he deserves it.
There are a lot of merits of the case, though. We're not even talking about his relationship with Private First Class Manning, Bradley Manning.
Go after that.
You know, if there's an email, by the way, if there is an email to Manning, I got to say that's conspiracy.
Yeah, that proves the conspiracy,
yeah.
And on top of that, it violates the Espionage Act of, I think it's 1927. We've got clear case to go after him.
Let's not convict the guy on television.
This is a guy conducting information warfare on us and our allies. That's public. He tried to extort the United States. He said he would leak more if we went after him.
But the leak said the girl let him live there for 5 days.
I got to ask you this. The guy's in probably a whole lot of trouble, or maybe in a whole lot of trouble, right? Where are all the leaks? Didn't he promise a whole bunch of cables that were going to get released?
No, that's his insurance team. So he gets up. He's most afraid of one thing: the indictment that's happening in the United States.
Right.
That's what he's afraid because we'll get him on the espionage.
So here's my question: if we make an example out of Julian Assange for doing it, I got to think that's going to discourage other people from doing it.
I agree. You make the punishment up the punishment to 20 to life if he gets convicted on the espionage. Let him stay in jail for the next 20 years. So the next yo-yo that's on his computer will understand.
I can't disagree. I know you got me sitting over here, and it's not a fair fight 3 against 1 because you guys are undermanned. But the problem is this: I got to tell you something. You go after this guy with everything you got, whether you're conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican. He's got to be made an example of.
What are those who say? What about the First Amendment? He has the right to publish whatever he wants. It's freedom of speech.
Yeah, with responsibility, and you don't put the country at risk in the process. And anyone who argues otherwise isn't a liberal, but a nut.
The First Amendment applies to U.S. citizens, which he's not, number one.
Right.
Journalists, which he's not in the U.S., that's number 2. And number 3, you know why this guy doesn't want to get extradited back to Switzerland? That's where we do rendition.
Sweden. Yeah.
Sweden, rather.
Yeah.
We get him there. We send him to rendition. He never makes it to U.S. soil. He's scared of other things.
Out, guys? Do we get in here?
It's going to play out that I'll guarantee you he will be indicted in the United States. And then I also guarantee you he might not leave England. England, of course, will give him right back to us because what he's done and what he said has hurt England along the United States. And we got to stop this creep before he hurts somebody
and anyone
else.
Who else doesn't cooperate with us in this is going to pay the price.
I like you. You're Italian, too, aren't you?
Italian.
That's
he calls
why.
me a liberal, but I'm a centrist. He doesn't get that. He thinks everybody's over there like Alan Combs. Some of us are sane.
Steve, let's be fair. I said I wasn't really sure where you were. Sometimes you're over there, sometimes you're along.
That's because I'm. See my hands? You see that, Bo?
He's a
That's because I'm
Sicilian
so
at heart.
thoughtful. You expect me to come from a certain point of view, and I surprise you because I'm so unbelievably insightful.
I'm not sure that's
Yeah,
right.
I like
Why is everybody laughing in the studio?
Look, I like Addabata too, and I watch you, so I got to give
On
you credit
PBS,
back.
the liberal station.
I watch you on the liberal station. That wouldn't employ me or Juan Williams. But,
No, that was NPR. Don't put me on that one.
but no, look, when it comes to Assange, we do have to make an example out of this guy. And we've got to make it real clear for anybody else that we will do whatever it is that's necessary within the boundaries to protect American interests anywhere.
What about Bradley Manning, private first class? What are we doing with him?
Well, I mean, that's a direct treason. I mean, he was an officer in the armed services, and what he gave out was
Does anyone have a
links.
problem? Some people say over 1 million people had access to them.
But
who gave it up? But who released it?
Well, let's separate what happened. We had a structure that was flawed. That many people had it. We had a structure where the classification system was also flawed.
It's a setup for a problem.
Manning did what he did of his own accord.
That's right.
The fact that a million people had it doesn't take it.
Now, if you go into a bank and you look on the other side of the teller and they left the safe door open, should you have the right to go take some money out of it?
Just because they have a crappy system.
Right. That's the point.
But I want to know if that one email goes back and forth between the two of them. I say it's conspiracy. We're going to have to leave it there. Is it possible that they've been listening? Are the people behind the no, not the proposed mosque at Ground Zero? People behind the Ground Zero mosque open to finding a new address. Find out when we return. Is it possible that someone has finally had a wake-up call about moving the Ground Zero mosque? Has someone finally heard the outrage? Word has it that the Saudi royal family might want to buy the shuttered St. Vincent's Medical Center in the West Village of New York and move the mosque there. King Abdullah, worth more than $20 billion, says he would also save the hospital. Good thing? Bad thing? Look, I'm no Islamophobe, but I think moving the Ground Zero mosque is a significant olive branch. Joining me now is Pam Geller, who's been all over this since the very beginning. Pam, sounds pretty good to me. I mean, Ground Zero Mosque right there at Ground Zero versus about a mile away, St. Vincent's, and the $300 million that he would be willing to pledge would also reopen that hospital. Not a bad olive branch, right?
It's a great idea. The Ground Zero Mosque is a hot mess. It's a public relations disaster. The Saudis are suffering now from the WikiLeaks revelations that they're the chief financiers of Al-Qaeda. So it's an olive branch, makes the Saudis look good. As far as Imam Rauf, we know between the receivership, the slumlord, the two lawsuits against Gamal for the bank defaults, they're in trouble. So they can fold gracefully, they can spin it as a victory, or they can spin it as
Well, talk about that, Pam, real quickly. You say they. Who's they?
Well, Sharif al-Gamal has not one, but two lawsuits.
Has he weighed in on this?
No. Has not one, but two lawsuits against him by the bank. We know he was evicted from Soho Bank.
But here's what I'm getting at. This is King Abdullah. This is separate from Imam Rauf. I'm saying that when I say this, I mean the pledge is from King Abdullah, King of Saudi Arabia, with $20 billion to play with, saying that he would do this. Yet we haven't heard from Imam Rauf, Daisy Khan, his wife, Al-Gamal. We haven't heard from anyone regarding the Ground Zero mosque.
King Abdullah is one of the most powerful figures in the Muslim world to the Ummah. And clearly this is a separate project. They don't need the Ground Zero Mosque to go and buy St. Vincent's and do this.
So it may not be in exchange for the Ground Zero. It might be in addition to the Ground Zero mosque.
I don't think King Abdullah would have presented it as such if it was...
What's he got to do with the Ground Zero mosque, though?
He's interceding. He's getting involved.
Okay, getting involved. All right, what about it, Steve? What do you think?
I got to tell you something. You know, the whole situation at St. Vincent's it's a horrible situation for people who need that hospital. To see it go under like that. Got a lot of friends who work there. Forget about the working there, but serving the community. You got to vet this whole thing 12 different ways. Who are these people?
Why?
Because you want to know where the money's coming from.
Well, we know it's King Abdullah.
Well, you got to vet it. Here's what I'm saying. If this can be a situation that gets the attention off of the Ground Zero situation, moves it several blocks north, up to the village, and we talk about helping the hospital, I got to tell you something. I don't care whether we Islamophobe or whatever it is, you got to be open to that idea, because the alternative is a stalemate, nothing good.
Before I get to you guys, I got to throw this out here. We called Ibrahim Hooper, who's the get this, the communications director at CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, and he gave us this quote right here, guys. Don't call me ever again. Council on American Islamic Relations. That's not very.
That's not helping.
Relationship.
Eric,
go ahead.
You know, Eric, on this one here, we all feel the same way. I mean, I was down there on 9/11, and everybody lost loved ones down there. If they're to move it up and help St. Vincent's Hospital, now I met. He used to be the Crown Prince Abdullah when King Fahd was the king. I've been to Saudi Arabia 2 dozen times. I used to bodyguard some of the members of the Royal Family. The point I'm trying to get at, if this is in fact is true, then we should support it with our arms wide open. Let them build a mosque down the block from the hospital.
The problem is, guys, we're not sure if it's true that it's in place of the Ground Zero Mosque or in addition to.
Well, that's the issue. And here's the thing. Pamela's right that right now there is a PR problem with Saudi Arabia because of WikiLeaks. The fact that the majority of Islamic terrorism is being financed by elements in Saudi Arabia. So for them, I think it's a separate move. Also, look, the king and the royal family is smart. They're not going to get involved with a couple of third-rate hucksters
who have no
like
money.
Sharif El Gamal and all the others. So my thing, though, I'm with you.
Watch looking at possibly raising $100 million. These third-rate hucksters.
Watch it. Yeah, but watch them.
Hold on, guys. I've got to get to Peter Schiff. Peter, I almost forgot you're out there, but my friend, you're in the area a lot. You're in the city a lot. What do you think of this idea?
Well, it doesn't matter to me. I think we got much bigger problems than you know, where this mosque is going to be or not. I mean, if it takes it off the front pages so we can focus on more pressing issues, then I guess I'd be in favor of it. But other than that, I haven't given it much thought.
But Pam, here it is. Now, will King Abdullah have too much influence? I mean, do you care if he has a lot of influence in Lower Manhattan, St. Vincent's Hospital, and a whole project there? It's a big project.
The Saudi government funds 80% of the mosques in America. So as far as having too much influence, I think we've missed the boat on that. It is a face-saving move. It's a face-saving move for Imam Raouf and Gamal. I think that
let him do it.
Sure.
Eric, let him do it.
Let him do it,
Listen,
right?
listen, everyone has a right to try to improve their brand and their image.
Yeah.
And if that's what it does in the process and it helps
Saves
people
our hospital.
in the
It's a great
village,
idea.
in that community, I don't see,
for
listen,
it.
we asked some tough questions, but I don't see, you know, putting the wall up that we put up before when you talked about Ground Zero. It's very different.
Yeah, but I go back to the point of we have to realize that these are two separate elements. We still have to watch Imam Raouf and the rest of the bunch down there with the Ground Zero Mosque. King Abdullah, separate issue to me because, again, why would he want to deal with this? I think there are two separate trains here.
And if, in fact, this is the king, if it is King Abdullah of Saudi Arabia, he's over in the hospital getting a back operation.
Presbyterian.
Now. Yeah, if it is him, these couple of guys down there are not going to be able to control him.
No.
And I think they'll go away like they should have gone away.
Last word, Pam. We're out of time.
I mean, as far as watching the financing, we got to watch the financing with Gamal and Sharif.
Exactly.
King Abdullah, we know who he is. And we know that how many of the Muslim hijackers were from his Saudi Arabia? I mean, so this is a win-win for everybody, and they should go quietly into
Saudi
the night.
Arabians watch this
Peter,
show.
guess what? We know where King Abdullah got most of his money as well, don't we?
Yeah.
Municipal bonds.
Oil.
No, and you know what?
Eric,
He's gonna have a lot more money too. So I'm sure this is all, you know, this is very small for him because oil prices. You look at them today, you know, they closed almost $90 a barrel. Look at that chart on oil prices.
He's got a lot of
by the
our
way.
money. We're gonna have
They're
to
going
leave
a
it
lot
there.
higher.
And
CRB hit a new 2-year high today too.
We got to leave that here. Thank you to Pam Geller for joining us today. Up next, it's never been dispensed by a vending machine before, but it might be the new way to buy gold.
Stick your money in like you're playing a slot machine, and out pops the piece of gold. You're a winner every time.
Follow the gold. I mean, money will be right back. Well, it was bound to happen since gold is all the rage now. You'll be able to buy it in vending machines. The first one was installed in Boca Raton, Florida, and it's just the start of the gold ATMs across America. Joining me now, PMX Gold CEO Michael Heiler and Dave Jones, a consultant who helped broker the deal that brought the machines to the U.S. Okay, guys, I love this. This is amazing. Tell us about that machine. Everyone wants to know right now, how much does that thing weigh? How much gold is in that machine right there?
At any given moment, we have roughly 140 to 175,000 of gold in the machine.
And Mike, what happens? Is that thing movable? Is it mobile? Can I maybe back a truck up to the front of the mall and put it on the back and take off?
You hear it, Mike? No, this thing is bolted to the concrete, drilled into the floor, cemented into the foundation. You got 1.5 tons of metal here, titanium reinforced, cameras, alarms, not going anywhere.
All right, so an ounce of gold is around, I don't know, close to $1,400 an ounce right now in the open market. I'm not walking into the mall with $1,400 in hundreds and put them in there. What's the smallest amount I can buy?
You can buy as small as 2 grams of gold. You can buy up to an ounce in the machine as we have it featured here in the United States.
And just so we know, can you show us, go back to the guys, show us an example of what I might buy in that machine. You were holding something up earlier. Can I see that again, guys?
Sure. We have here, and these are Credit Suisse. These are all freshly minted bars. This is not what you're going to buy from the local hobby shop, coin dealer. These were poured at the mint for us. These are brand new, uncirculated. These are 5 and 10 gram pieces.
And how do I know how pure that gold is? Is that stuff I might buy at a coin dealer or one of my reputable places I buy gold?
This will come with the certificate of authenticity. Mike's company, PMX Gold, subsidiary PMX Communities Inc. They stand behind the purchase 100%.
Hang in there,
Within
guys.
10 days, if you.
Hold on. I want to get to Peter Schiff real quickly. He's one of my gold guys. Pete, what do you think of this? I think this is brilliant. Absolute sheer genius.
Yeah, look, certainly for people who are not buying in large quantities, because I'm sure the prices that you're going to pay in these machines over spot, obviously if you're buying $100,000 worth of gold, you're not going to go to one of these machines. But for rank and file people who don't have a lot of extra cash, they have an extra $100 or $200 or $300, and they don't want to put it in the bank, they don't want to watch it get eaten up by inflation.
Peter,
it could be a great way to buy a small quantity of gold.
What do you think of this?
Well, if I could take my municipal bonds and get this, that'd be good.
Gold,
That'd be good. It's too late.
I'm running down there with my black card. I'm going to pound that thing right out.
David,
get me the gold.
I want to go there, but I want to be escorted to my car after.
I'll escort
All right,
you.
CEO Mike, can I buy into your company? I want to buy into that company, yes or no?
Say that again?
Okay, I want to buy the company. Can I buy
Can you
into your
repeat
company?
that?
Can I invest in you?
Can you invest in us? You can invest in Mike. I'm just a consultant.
We're going to have to leave it there.
We
in
are
fact,
a
you know what we're going to try and do?
company.
We're
I
going to
wonder
try
if
and
they
keep
can
you
do it
guys
both
here,
ways.
Grab a quick
What if they can-
interview and do this again tomorrow night. See you guys, everybody.